Now we get to move on a little bit more to the short games. We've got the wedges, the best wedges of the year, according to the Members Choice Voting from GolfWRX. Brian, we've got some familiar names at the top there. We got the Titleist Vokey SM10 wedges, just under 40% of the vote at number 1. Cleveland RTZ, which I think is a phenomenal wedge and a really cool innovation by them as far as the material goes, comes in at number 2. Ping S159 is there at 3. TaylorMade MG4 wedges at number 4. And then the Mizuno Pro T1 wedges round out the top 5. So what more can you say about Vokey SM10? They continue to innovate, offer new options as far as finish, grind, bounce, etc. They lead the industry in that regard, but performance clearly is still there with all the play that they get.
For sure. I think SM10, I mean, this is one of those categories that I don't want to say unfortunately, but you kind of knew the outcome a little bit before, even when you posted it. You kind of, the past few years, when a new Vokey has come out, and every year it's pretty much one. And I think you kind of nailed it. There's so many options. When you walk in and you go get fit for wedges, there are a plethora of sole grinds, different loft options, all that, and no one else can touch them in terms of those options. So, when you walk into your fitter and you play certain shots or play certain conditions and you deliver the club a certain way, there's probably a Vokey wedge that fits that. And, you and your fitter are going to be able to figure that out and, get the best setup for you. And, whether you're steep with a sand wedge and shallow with a lob wedge or, whatever you are, there's a whole lot of options. And I think also, too, when you throw WedgeWRX stuff into that, which has been, I think, one of the biggest WedgeWRX years or generations that they've ever had, it just expands that line even further. And they do. SM10s feel good. They have great spin. The shaping's awesome. And they just do a lot of things really well. And, versatility is just there. But I think the biggest story to this one is Cleveland RTZ. And the only reason I say it is because, yes, Vokey was basically 40% of the vote. It was 39.5%. But I want to say this is probably the closest second place finisher I've seen it in a few years. And RTZ is, like you said, a great wedge. I think that new material is extremely soft. People love the feel. But not even that. They're still getting that Cleveland spin. The groove and face technology is still keeping up. They spin great out of the rough. They spin great out of tight lies, out of the bunkers. They just really perform well.
Yeah.
And
it's durable too, which is a really cool bonus for players, not trying to spend a bunch of money, refreshing their wedges, refreshing their grooves as often. That's a really cool element to this new material as well.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, they've just done so much. And they, of course, are adding, more sole options and more grind options and loft options as they go. It's not as massive as Vokey yet, but they're at least expanding and seeing what the market needs and wants and providing those. So, the addition of the full face grooves, and you have that option and the different finishes as well. I will say one drawback. Tour rack doesn't rust anymore, so that's a little bit of a bummer. I'm a rusty wedge guy. I like that. Sure. But I think RTZ making such a big leap and getting it as close as it is, I think just is huge for Cleveland. I think it really means they had a great wedge that they put out there. And, like them, they'll probably run this thing for 2 years. And I think, again, it's going to be pushing for first place again, in 2026 when we do this again. And I think same thing, Ping S159, to me personally, best wedge Ping ever made. I was never an I2 guy. That was never my thing. I didn't love the shape. So the S159 to me is phenomenal. Same thing, ton of sole options, really classic shape to it, spins really well out of the rough, just does everything really well. And then, the Mill Grind 4. I mean, I know those have done really well, and they may be coming to an end shortly. We've seen some prototypes on tour, so we could see a new challenger next year. But the Mill Grind 4, I thought was a good leap over Mill Grind 3. Mill Grind 3 performed well, but it had a little clicky feel. It wasn't the softest wedge out there. And I thought Mill Grind 4 definitely upped that feel game. It felt way softer. That new face technology they had was kind of like almost sandpapery, but it put good spin on the ball. The shaping, if you look, a little box to your toe is there. And again, same thing, expanding, sole options, different grinds, things like that I guess not grinds, they mill them into the sole. But a lot of options there for different players. And then Mizuno T1, I tell you what, that's a wedge. If you haven't, if you're out there looking for new wedges and you want to try some stuff, the Mizuno T1 is a really sleeper wedge. Great compact shape to it. The finishes are awesome. The blue is kind of stunning. Yes. I actually really like the black. The black is super cool. The blend of matte and gloss black, they just did a great job. but a great looking wedge. And of course, Mizuno feel. It's forged, soft feel around the green, and honestly, that was it Hydro Zip face on there, or Hydro, can't remember what they call it, Hydro, whatever face. I mean, out of the rough, the deep rough here up north, you and I kind of play of these conditions where we have kind of lush rough around the greens. Great spin out of there, even early in the morning when there's dew, you get kind of a controlled shot, but a very under the radar wedge in the T1. And like we've said with others, starting to see that expanding those soul grind options can make a big difference in getting those wedge into fittings and into players' hands.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of these brands offering more and more with each new wedge release, which is really a big win for our fitters. Our fitters love that. I will say this for the Mizuno Pro T1 as well. If you prefer a compact footprint for a wedge, you're going to love it. I don't think I've seen anything that's more of that kind of classic teardrop wedge shape than that one. And it really squares up the ball nicely with kind of the way the grooves are, especially if you get one of the blue or the black finish. The way the face is kind of shaped and designed, it squares up the ball really nicely. So I've been kind of toying with that 60-degree in my bag and testing it out. So again, bias might be a factor in this conversation for me right now. But nonetheless, the wedges, I mean, some surprises, some not so surprises, but those are the top 5 in the wedge category for the WEDGES Members Choice for 2025.